There is an old hospital on the edge of a small town called Willow Creek in Ohio, USA. It was once a busy place where many sick people were treated. But 20 years ago, after a deadly virus outbreak, the hospital was shut down forever. Now, people say it's haunted? Locals tell stories about strange sounds, shadows, and crying voices from inside the building at night. Jake Matthews, a young man who loves exploring abandoned places, decided to visit the hospital. He wanted to record a video for his YouTube channel. His best friend, Sarah Bennett, went with him. She was interested in ghosts and paranormal activity. They reached the hospital late at night. The building looked dark and broken. Windows were shattered and vines covered the walls. Jake turned on his flashlights. Sarah said, "This place feels wrong." Jake replied, "Let's just get some footage and leave." They walked inside. The main hallway was full of old wheelchairs and broken beds. The paint on the walls was peeling off. Everything was silent until they heard something, a soft sound. A child crying. They both stopped and looked at each other. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked. Jake nodded. "It came from the children's ward." They followed the sound into a room full of tiny metal beds. Toys were scattered on the floor. The air was cold, and it felt hard to breathe. Suddenly, Jake's flashlight flickered. In the corner of the room, something moved. A shadow, then they heard a whisper. "Come play with us." Sarah grabbed Jake's arm. "We should go." But Jake said, "Let's check the basement." That's where they kept the most sick children during the outbreak. They walked down the basement stairs slowly. The air was colder down there. The lights didn't work, so they used their flashlights. They entered an old isolation room. It was small, dark, and freezing. There was an old hospital bed and some medical tools covered in dust. Suddenly they heard a giggle. Then a soft voice said, "You can't leave." The door behind them slammed shut. They screamed and tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Then a child appeared in the corner of the room, pale face, dark eyes. No expression. The child stood still, then smiled. Lights flickered. Then darkness. Jake kicked the door. It opened suddenly, and they ran out. They didn't stop running until they reached their car. The next day, Jake checked the video they recorded. Everything seemed normal until one frame. Behind him, in a mirror on the wall, was the same pale child, staring at him, smiling. Some places are never truly empty.